Hello everyone, and welcome to this video on the Python programming language. So in this video I will attempt to create a program to find undervalued stocks. Now before we begin, if you like the videos on this channel, then be sure to click that subscribe and like button, and to be notified about new videos from this channel, hit that bell notification. And the material in this video is purely educational and should not be taken as professional investment advice, as I am not a financial advisor, so invest at your own discretion. Alright, so with all that being said, I'm currently on Google's website called colab.research.google.com, and I'm on it because it makes it really easy to start programming in Python. All you have to do is go to this website and then log in using your Google account and get started writing your Python code. Or of course you can use whatever IDE you feel most comfortable with. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started writing this code by clicking on File, then click on New Notebook, where a new tab open up for us, and then eventually a new cell. And in the cell, I'm going to put in some comments. So I'm going to put in a description about the program. So I'm just going to type this program. This program determines if a stock is under or over valued. Okay, so the question is how to find undervalued stocks. Well, there are many ways to determine if a company is undervalued, and in this video I will go over one simple way to do so by using the profit to earnings ratio, also known as the PE ratio. So the PE ratio measures the market price of a stock compared to the company's profits or earnings. So for example, if a company has earnings of $4 per share and its stock is trading at $100 per share, then its PE ratio is 100 divided by 4, or 25, which means the stock is trading at 25 times earnings. So the strategy that I will use in this video will be to take the average PE ratio of stocks in a particular sector. So I'm going to be using the technology sector, the information technology sector, and I'm going to determine if the stock is over or undervalued by comparing the stock's individual PE ratio with the average PE ratio of all of the tech stocks. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell by clicking this code button here in the top left. And now in this cell, I'm going to import the libraries that I'm going to be using throughout this program. So I'm going to import pandas as PD, and I'm going to import numpy as np. And then I'm going to run this cell by clicking this button here to the left, and this will let me know if I made any mistakes. Okay, so it looks like I'm good. So I'm going to create a new cell, and now I'm going to load the data. So I'm going to load a data set that contains stock data on 25 companies from the information technology sector. You may want to use a much bigger data set to determine if the price of a stock is over or undervalued, but this is the data that we're going to use for this video. So to load this data, just type from google.colab import files, and then type files.upload to upload the file, and then run the cell. Click on choose files, and I'm going to choose that file called information technology stocks.csv. Okay, so now the file has been uploaded, so I'm going to create a new cell, and now I'm going to store the data. So I'm going to create a variable called df and set it equal to pd.read_csv, and then I'm going to put the name of the file inside here. So I'm just going to come up here and I'm going to highlight that name, and I'm going to copy it using Control C, and then come down here and paste it using Control V, and then I want to show the data. So I'm just going to type df here, and I'm going to run this. Okay, so now we can see the data set. So we can see that I have 25 stocks, and we have of course the stock tickers. Then we have the stock's PE ratio, the current price, and the earnings per share. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make all of the indices or indexes, I want to make them the ticker symbol. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to set the tickers as the index, and to do that I'm just going to set df equal to df.set_index, and then I'm going to input the name of the column tickers. Alright, so let's go ahead and run this now. And now you can see that the indices have changed to be the ticker symbols. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now in this cell, I'm going to calculate and show the mean PE ratio of all of the information technology stocks. All right, so to do that, all I need to do is type df.pe underscore ratio dot mean. And I'm going to store this in a variable. So I'm going to create a variable called PE underscore ratio underscore mean. And I'm going to set it equal to df.pe underscore ratio dot mean. And then I want to show the data. So I'm just going to type PE underscore ratio underscore mean. And let's run this. Okay, so now I can see that the mean PE ratio of the stocks in this data set is 76.8148. All right, so now let's go ahead and create a new cell. And in this cell, I want to calculate and show the fair market value. Okay, so the fair market value should represent an accurate valuation or assessment of an asset's worth. So to do this, I'm going to create a new column called fair underscore market underscore value. And I'm going to set this equal to the PE underscore ratio mean times the earnings per share. So DF earnings underscore per underscore share. Okay, and then I want to show the data. So I'm just going to type DF and let's run this. Okay, so now I can see a new column called fair underscore market underscore value, which we just created. And again, the fair market value should represent an accurate valuation or assessment of an asset's worth. So in this case here, if we take a look at, let's say, GOOG or Google, if we take a look at this stock, the fair market value is 7,149 point about 51 $7,149.51, and the current price is $2,730 and about 81 cents. Okay, so this tells me that Google may be undervalued because the fair market value is actually higher than the current price. Okay, so let's take another example. Let's take a look at SQ here, or Square. So its current price is $255.28, and I'm rounding again. And the fair market value is about $56.70. So Square may be an overvalued stock. Now, of course, you don't want to just use only the PE ratio to determine if a stock is under or overvalued, but this is just the method that we're using here in this demonstration. Okay, you're going to want to use other metrics as well to get a good idea of whether or not you want to buy a specific stock based on its valuation of being overvalued or undervalued. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell. And now in this cell, I'm going to calculate and show a company's value ratio to determine if that company is overvalued or undervalued, and to later get a measurement of how over or undervalued that stock is. Okay, so this calculation can be done by dividing the current price by the fair market price, or this calculation can be done by dividing the stock's PE ratio with the mean PE ratio of all the tech stocks. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new column. I'm going to call it over under ratio. So over underscore under underscore ratio. All right, and I'm going to set it equal to DF current price divided by DF fair market or fair market value. Okay, and then I'm going to show the data. So I'm just going to type DF here and let's run this. Okay, and now we can see this new column called over underscore under underscore ratio, and we get these values here. Okay, so a stock with a ratio of 1.0 would be trading exactly at its fair value, while a stock with a ratio of, let's say, 1.30 would be trading 30% above its fair value, and as such it would be considered overvalued. And a stock trading at, let's say, 0.60 would be trading at 40% below its fair value, so it's undervalued. Okay, so here we can see that Amazon would be considered undervalued. Same for Apple here. Okay, and Google here. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new column to store some labels that will basically tell us if the stock is overvalued or undervalued, okay, without having to look at the numbers and make that translation ourselves. All right, so let's create a new cell, and in this cell I'm going to create a new column to store and show a label of undervalued and overvalued stocks. Okay, so I'm going to create a column called value underscore label, and I'm going to set this equal to np.where the over under ratio is less than 1.0. I'm going to put the label undervalued, and I'm going to make that a capital U here. Okay, else if it's not less than 1.0, that means that it's greater than or equal to 1.0. So I know that that stock would then be fair or overvalued. Okay, and then I want to show the data. So I'm just going to type df here, and let's go ahead and run this cell, and let's go over to the value label, and now we can easily see which company is undervalued and which one is fair or overvalued. Okay, and so here we have Now and SQ are both fair or overvalued stocks in this data set, at least according to the PE ratio here. But of course, again, we can't just only use the PE ratio to make a decision of whether or not a stock is over or undervalued. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new cell now that we have those nice labels, and now let's show the percentage that the stock is over or undervalued. So we're going to get that measurement of how valued or how over or undervalued these stocks are. All right, so again, we're going to show the percentage that the stock is over or undervalued. So I'm going to create a column called value underscore percentage, and I'm going to set this equal to the absolute value of the over under ratio minus 1 times 100 to get a percentage. And then I'm going to show the data. So I'm just going to type df again, and let's run this. Okay, so now if I scroll on over, we have the new column called value percentage, and now I can see that this stock here, which is Amazon, AMZN, it is undervalued, and we can see that from our value label. And it's about 24.52% undervalued. Okay, so you may be interested in finding a undervalued stock at a specific threshold. So maybe you want a stock that is undervalued more than 80%. So here would be a good example. This stock is valued, or this stock is undervalued more than 80%. So it's at 84.47% about. And that stock is INTC. So this may tell you that this stock is undervalued and you might want to consider buying it, or maybe not. Okay, and then let's take a look at SQ or Square. So here I can see that it is fair or overvalued, and let's just see how fair or overvalued it is. So it looks to be 350.2% overvalued, and of course I'm rounding up here. So maybe you don't want to invest in Square, but then again, Square has performed pretty well over the years, so maybe you do. All right, so let's go ahead and create a new cell, and let's show only a list of stocks that are considered undervalued. And that's easy enough. All we have to do is find all of the stocks in our data set where the value label is undervalued. Okay, and then I'm going to put .index here because the index will be the stock tickers. So let's go ahead and run this. And now we have our list of stock tickers that are considered undervalued from our data set. Well, that's the end of the video. If you would like to start an investment portfolio of your own, you can click on the link below and get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,000 on Webull when you deposit $100 or more. And don't forget to grab $10 worth of Bitcoin using the BlockFi link below in the description when you deposit $100 or more. It's basically free money. Thanks for watching, and thank you to the supporters supporting this channel on patreon.com, where I will put the data set and code from this video. If you would like to become a supporter on patreon.com, I will leave a link in the description below for that as well. Again, thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video.